To anyone who has seen the Abandoned Hoarder House video that was uploaded close to, or over 3 years ago now, I guess, there's been a lot of questions about who the owners were, what happened, well, more so than almost any other video. There's a whole lot of questions. People coming back years later, leaving another comment saying, "Hey, what happened? Have you found anything out?" So check it out, YouTube. We actually, somebody was nice enough to point me in the direction of one of the residents of the house. I took a risk at contacting him to see if he would be interested in speaking with me, because obviously I was afraid you might be upset, you might not appreciate the things that I do. Luckily for us, he was very understanding, and he's taken the time to actually talk to us, and he's going to answer as many questions as I can get out of him right now. A little background on who he is. This is, I don't know if you want me to say your name. I guess it's
Darnell. Yeah.
We're talking to Darnell Saki, is his nickname, Dickerson. He's the boy with 1,000 stories. He's actually a young author, and he's written, looks like 3 novels at this time. Available on Amazon.com. I'll be able to put links in the video description if anybody wants to check it out. But I'm going to give him a chance to speak for himself, so feel free to introduce yourself and let everybody know who you are and what you're about.
All right. My name is Darnell. I'm the little boy in the picture in the room there. If you've seen the video, I guess I can just go back and talk about the house from what I've known so from when I was there. I was born here where I am now in Los Angeles, California. Through a series of events, my grandma became my legal guardian. A couple of things happened. I was kidnapped, abducted, and my dad was actually dragged a few blocks by a bus. He had his foot caught in the door. So the city of Los Angeles deemed him unfit, and I was going to be sent to foster care, to a foster home. But my grandmother flew over from New Jersey and became my legal guardian. And I grew up in the house that you saw, the Abandoned Hoarder House, since I was 1 until I was 11 years old. I lived there with my grandmother and my grandpa, and until we lived in that house until 2000, the year 2000. My grandma and my grandfather were older. My grandma was in her 70s, and my grandpa was just touching 80. So they were dealing with a host of problems that come with getting older, early stages of dementia, Alzheimer's, arthritis. So and their relationship was a little strained at that point. So there was a lot of fighting, it became a little harsh environment, a little toxic to be in. So my grandmother and I moved in with my aunt in Camden in 2000, and my grandfather was the only one left in the house. And my grandmother, my aunt took care of us in Camden, but at that time they were talking about sending me to California to develop a relationship with my father that I only met a few times growing up. So in the summer of 2001, I got on a plane and came to California to live with my dad here, and my sister, which I'd only met once before. And shortly after that, I want to say around 2004, somewhere around there, my grandfather, his condition was getting a lot worse, so he needed someone to look after him. He was in the house all alone, and as you can see, that's kind of a big house for an older person to maneuver around and to be all by himself. So he moved in with my aunt as well, and he was suffering from a host of different problems, Alzheimer's, etc. So at that time, around 2004, 2005, there was nobody in the house. It was just left. My grandmother had tried a few times to go back and to fix up the property, to trim the weeds or whatever, but she was. It's not something that you can do on your own when you're an older person. If you had help, like from your younger, from your children or something, it would be doable. But her children were also a little bit older. My aunt at that time was around 50, and it just wasn't doable to fix up the property the way she wanted to. So we kind of just it kind of just got left. I actually went back there in 2007 for a family reunion, and I went back to the property with my grandma. It was the first time I had been back since 2001, and it was actually just like the day I left it. It wasn't the way that you saw it in the video with everything thrown around and hard to walk through. We were hoarders. We did have that problem. My grandmother, my grandma, I have it now, but we were neat hoarders, if that's such a thing. We didn't. It definitely wasn't the way that you found it. Most of the all the things, all the collectibles or whatnot were in our rooms and stacked or whatever, and they weren't. We kept our living room clean and the dining room. We had a lot of Christmas parties and whatnot there. But when I went back in 2007, it was pretty much the way that I had left it. Like my bed was still there, everything was still arranged the way I left it because it was just perfectly untouched.
Yeah.
And that was the last time I was actually in the house, was 2007. I went back a couple times after that for a few different reasons. In 2010 we went back, but we didn't go inside the property because we had heard that it had been vandalized. We had heard that some teenagers had broken in and somebody had stolen some copper pipes, and I also heard something about the window shattering. I can't remember, but I think I was told that a tree fell in the window and shattered it. So they had to board it. I don't remember very well, but yeah, it just wasn't in a good state to visit, so we didn't. And actually, shortly after you uploaded the video on YouTube in 2012, I went back again, January 20th, for my grandfather's funeral. My grandfather passed away, and then the family we were talking about what to do with the property because my grandmother still wanted to hold on to it. She actually wanted to pass it down to me. Maybe she thought I would move back to New Jersey and raise my family there, but I really didn't have any plans to do that. I like the weather in California. But a couple of my cousins had ideas to turn into a daycare, maybe fix it up, or turn into a house or apartment to rent out to people. But they were talking about doing extensive work to tear it down and remodel it. I think at that time it was also the city wanted to tear it down too. I think it was condemned, and I believe that my cousin made a plea that made it like a petition or something, that it was a family heirloom because my grandfather had built the house actually. So I think that saved the house from being condemned. And yeah, as far as I know, my aunt is she owns the estate. She still pays the property taxes for it, and I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen to it. But in that same summer, 2012, my grandmother also passed away. So after that, I haven't been back to New Jersey. I haven't seen the house. I've wanted to go back and maybe salvage things that have been left there. But it's now up in the air. I haven't talked to my aunt about it really in depth. I don't know what's going to happen to it. And, well, after seeing your video, it was I really didn't know what state I could expect to see the house in. I had heard it was vandalized. I'd heard that people went rummaging. But it's kind of weird because most of the things are still there. So I don't know what was... It's just it's weird to see it in that state.
You would like, if you have the video open on your computer, I think everybody would love it if you were able to watch it over once and just kind of give us your commentary about, what you're thinking while you're watching, through the video. Give everyone a chance to hear your reactions to it.
Absolutely, yeah. Let me try to find it right now.
Okay.
This is gonna be let me up on the street from the outside.
A huge property. Just fell into decay. We used to keep the grounds really well cut and everything, and I actually used to be the one pushing the lawnmower around when my grandma got too old to hop on the riding lawnmower. But just seeing it like that would have been unacceptable. Oh my god. And this was our dining room. Yeah. This a picture of my cousins and my aunts. A lot of my cousins actually grew up in this house before I did. I know the tag on the door said the room belonged to Pamela. She grew up in that room, and then my cousin Montez, and then me. So it's kind of like a family house. A lot of generations of us grew up in that house. Oh my god. Seeing the chairs. I don't even know what that is right there in the hallway. Just a bunch of parts from different parts of the room. Just, it doesn't make sense. And the bathroom is what tripped me out a lot. Just how the medicine cabinet is still like is still fine. Like everything else is on the floor. There's like parts of a bed in the bathtub, but everything in the medicine cabinet is fine. I don't understand. Wow. And yeah, it's just like, some of it's just like the day we left, and then some of it's like, why is there a bed in the bathtub? Or why is there a ladder in the hallway? And this is my grandfather's room that you're in now. That was probably the most cluttered room in the house, so it kind of sort of looked just like that when we left. So there's probably not much difference in that room, but for sure he wouldn't have kept all his records and stuff on the floor. And that was one of the rooms that I was scared to go in. Really, I went in there maybe a handful of times in my life. There's just so much stuff, and I don't really know what was supposed to be in there versus what's in there at the time you filmed that. But yeah, it's still very, very strange to see it. I think that was a camera in one of the drawers too, like a VCR camera. And like I said, if the house was rummaged through, if it was pillaged, it's weird that stuff like that and records and things like that would be left untouched, pretty much. And this was my room, and it's just absolutely a mess. I see my maracas on the dresser, and my little TV, and all my art on the wall. Oh my god! Oh my goodness! Man, wow. Yeah, there's the sticker on the door. Pamela lives here. Yeah, a few of us live there over the years. It's absolutely trashed. But there we go. There's all my dress clothes still in the dry cleaning bag, still pressed and untouched. All the toys, children's books. There's a picture of me. I had to be like, I want to say 8 or 9. And all kinds of awards I'd won from school. And that was my supposed art. My first and last painting. Oh. I recognize some of my stuffed animals buried underneath there. The Statue of Liberty from when I went to New York, a class field trip to New York, the Eiffel Tower. We didn't actually go inside though. And this was my grandmother's room. And just all her books, it's still neatly stacked. Everything else is just chaos. But her books, very neatly stacked and organized. And
Books are probably worth something.
yeah, like you said, the books are probably worth something. I don't understand if someone was looking for money, they could have took the books or sold the books. I really do not understand. But I would give anything to go back there right now and just salvage as much as I could. Oh. Gotta say, the house looks smaller now that I'm... I guess it was bigger when I was younger. That was a dresser full of portraits of my cousin Pamela, My sister, when she came over from New Jersey that one summer, man, this was the kitchen. And the things in the cupboard seem fine, and there's china on top of but the china in that cabinet is just totally gone. The chandelier's still standing. I'd be surprised if the clock didn't still work, you know? Like, wow. The table overturned. We had so many Christmas parties, so many Thanksgiving parties in that dining room. It just all comes back to me, even though it's in this state. It's the memories, you know. And the basement, man, even back then, it was just so many airborne, so much mold and mildew. You could almost see the mold floating in the air. I can imagine what it was like for you to be down there in the state it's in right now. It seems like broken bottles. And my Power Rangers, yeah, I carried that Power Morpher everywhere. That's the Zord I don't remember playing with. I think my grandma bought that for me and I never got it because I didn't have good grades or something. Yeah, I remember that Ninja Zord. I see that at comic conventions sometimes, and I'm tempted to buy another one, but it's just too much money. And what's funny is in the basement here, my grandfather had a bar built in the 70s, like a counter, and he would throw parties, and then my dad would actually throw house parties, like keg parties, down here in the basement, and serve behind the bar. But I don't see the bar now. I think maybe it's overturned or what have you. There were some signs for different beer companies, but I don't see that now. Just chest full of my toys. That, I believe, was a pinball machine in that black bag. Really old, looks like a CD player, boombox. Just like, to me, watching this right now as a hoarder, as a pack rat, it's just like a treasure trove of like stuff. I really just want to hop on a plane right now and go and salvage as much as I can, you know? Just, I can't imagine, like I said, all the mold and growth that's down there too right now. For years I wanted to go back and just, like I said, just salvage things. Why is there a living room chair in the basement? I don't know. And that lamp, oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm surprised you also didn't find our rotary phone, the little phone that you stick your finger in and move around to dial. That's a serious antique right there, at least to me. A nice memento of my childhood. It's just sad. Jesus Christ. Man. Jesus.
Well, the woman who helped track you down, I won't say her full name. I don't know if she wanted me to point that out, but Allison,
Yeah.
who is a mother, wanted me to tell you that as a mother, she thinks that you are a lovely young man, and she would be proud to have you as a son, and to keep doing what you're doing because you're obviously very talented.
Wow, thank you. I don't know if I remember her. I can't say, but I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.
So tell the people if you want, a little bit about yourself. DarnellDickerson.com is your website. I'll have links to that in the video and in the description where you can see his publishings. There's links to his Facebook, Twitter, Google+, YouTube, everything you need. So tell the people a little bit about what you do.
Well, I'm a a writer. I write a lot of short fiction right now, and mostly horror, science fiction, and fantasy. I'm working on a novel and a couple of novellas. This year is actually pretty ambitious for me. But yeah, I'm putting my work out there now. I just actually published today my science fiction short story, The Union, for free. I'm just working hard on that, on my craft. I've since moving to California, really opened up my creative side. I've made contacts with a lot of talented people. I was in a band. I was actually in like 3 bands at one point. And yeah, just I've had great opportunities to work, you know, outside of my craft, you know, to pay the bills, of course. Some pretty cool jobs I had, and yeah, just now I'm just working on my writing and just trying to make it. Yeah.
I just, you know, I really can't thank you enough for taking the time to talk with me.
Oh man, thank you. I like I said, I'm kicking myself for not taking my camera phone or whatever I had at the time. I know I had a nice camera there. I don't know why I didn't. I don't know, but I'm just glad that somebody out there captured it. So I have some kind of record. I'm going to download this video when the broadcast is over so I can have it in case YouTube takes it down one day or whatever. Because it's like the last piece I have of that. And since seeing that, I felt like connected more to like my roots. Like more memories have come back, and just I don't know. I'm just happy that exists, that video exists, that you took the time to do that, and that you contacted me, because I would never would have found that probably in a million years. So I'm just really happy that I was able to see my house one last time.